Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Craftability Foundation. Today we're going to make some salt dough ornaments, and we're going to focus on, today we'll do an Easter egg one, and I've got some hearts and some star cookie cutters. I'm going to show you the recipe, how to go about making it, and I'm going to begin here. These are the items you're going to need. Got my recipe here. So the first thing we'll need would be flour. You need flour, some salt. They say fine salt, but the kosher salt seems to work fine because I've experimented with it and it's worked just fine. Let's see, you need a bowl and some water. I need approximately a half a cup. We may add a little bit more water to it. It was a little bit dry, so it doesn't hurt to add a little bit of water, extra water. Probably, let's see, they suggested actually, sorry, one and a half cups of water, but I think you could do pretty well with, that amount should be good. Let's see, and then we're going to use some paints. We're going to have some tempera paint. If you have for older child acrylic, that's great as well. Some measuring cups. Some Mod Podge. The Mod Podge is a good sealant. Once it's baked, then you can use the Mod Podge. I used it. Some of the recipes suggest a straw or something. This obviously would be used by with parent supervision, but to make the holes, we're going to make these into little ornaments. So you can use this skewer stick. And I also brought a plastic fork. We're going to create some designs with that. And a knife, a plastic knife. And then you're going to need a spoon. And that should be it. So we're going to start off with our bowl here. And we're going to create we're going to do our recipe. So the recipe that I have, it creates quite a large batch. So if you want to scale it down a little bit, you could do that. But I'm going to show you, at least with this recipe, it only requires the three ingredients. That would be flour, salt, and the water. So we're going to start off with the flour, and this is my 1 cup. And it's going to do it. This one requires 4 cups of flour. So as I said, it's going to make quite a large batch of. That's 1. 2. 3. And 4. So 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, pouring in the salt here, 1 cup of salt, and then we have to get 1.5 cups of water. So this is a half cup. I'm going to pour it in from here a little bit here. Okay, and then a half in there. And then you're going to take your spoon and have your child, if you can see it there, mix that up. So once it's all stirred up, I'm going to put that aside. It's going to look something like this. If you need, like I said, if you're finding it a little bit dry, then you need to add a little bit of extra water. So if you start kneading it, you need to have your child and help your child knead it for at least 3 to 5 minutes and create, if you can, a ball like this, right? And then you're going to take some, oh, I forgot to mention, you need some parchment paper and of course the tray and a rolling pin to roll it. So what you'll do is you'll take a tray, and we've got an extra tray here, but we're going to put the parchment paper down. And I'm going to kind of tilt it a little bit better here. So there's our... And then you're going to take your other piece of parchment paper on top of that, like so. And you're going to take your rolling pin and roll it down. Now, some people have also it's suggested to use. I'm just using my one hand here. To create it, you could do a hand print if you wanted. But since it's Easter coming up, so we're going to do some Easter eggs. I'm going to roll that. So just in between the two, I've just put that in between the two pieces of parchment paper. You can see that properly. Okay. So I'm just going to keep rolling here. I'm going to say maybe a quarter of an inch thick would be good if you can get it to that consistency. This really helps. The parchment paper does really help from it not. Okay. So now that I've rolled it all out, I'm going to pull off the piece of parchment paper here and just show you what it's going to look like. So again, I'm just going to review the recipe real quickly. So 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of table salt, and 1.5 cups of water. And I'd say even closer to 2 cups even works better if you're finding that it's still a little bit dry with the 1.5. You're going to have even a much larger piece. I've already cut some of it off because I wanted to bake some of them to show you what they'll look like. And then you're going to, so once you've done this, we're going to do some cutting. And I wanted to also let you know how many degrees. So this particular recipe suggests 275 degrees and baking it for at least 2 to 2.5 hours. So again, 275 degrees and 2.5 hours. So we've got this. Okay. I'm going to do a star here. Now, I didn't have a circular cookie cutter, so I'm going to pull this off here real quickly. And that parchment paper really helps again with it not sticking. So you've got your one little star here. And I'm going to make my Easter egg with a plastic cup. So what I did was I kind of squished it a little bit. And what you could do, let me just show you here a little bit better, is you could so squish it down and then have your child push down So you squish it on the side and then have it pushed down. And what may help also to have your little plastic knife and help them cut along the edges. I'm going to do that real quickly just so you know what I'm doing. I'm just going to cut along the edges here, around the cup. I'm going to pull that up so you can see. Okay, so here's your oval, and you can make it more like egg-like. This could be a little thinner, but you get the idea. So if you're going to do a handprint for your child, remember to obviously measure the child's hand, and then maybe a 1/4 inch or maybe even 1/2 inch right round. So okay, so we've got that, and we've got a star, and then I'm going to do one heart. I got a heart cookie cutter. It comes out fairly easily. Got that. Okay. Now, the next step of once you have them cut out, and of course you've got all that extra, you dump it all together, and you can cut out more and re-roll it. But I'm going to put mine aside. So that's the extra. So you've got, right, so we're going to make a hole. And so it'll be kind of like an ornament. And this one, as I said, could be rolled out even more thinner so it's not so heavy. But if you want to make it into more of an ornament, you could make a hole here. I'll just use the skewer to make the hole. Good. You could put some ribbon through maybe. So remember, it's baked for 2.5 hours. Just to keep an eye on it to see that it doesn't all crack. I'm going to put 2 holes in this one. And I'm going to put, let's see, where did my star go? There, my star went missing. Look, my star went right here. Let's see. We can make another, we use our star here. We'll make another quick star here. So also what you could do is, now I'm going to do some decorating with the fork. And for older children, you could have them use a toothpick maybe. Again, just with adult supervision. I'm just going to quickly make our star here. There we go. Pull the star out here. Let's pull this apart here. So the star. Okay. Oh, and we need to make the little hole for the star. Like so. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to take, for the egg, I'm going to just show you what you could do. You could take a fork. Plastic fork would be good. And you could have the child poke little holes here. Again, with adult supervision on a tray would be great. I'm going to make some fork marks. I guess you could try and, I don't know if scraping would be so good, but you could probably make the lines better with, if you have a toothpick, make some little lines here. Maybe some zigzags. Or maybe just even press it in like this to make your zigzag. This would be obviously for the older child. Let's make a few more polka dots here. Okay, so you've got your design on there, and you could have them decorate the heart as well. Now these have gone through the oven. So this one's a completed one. I didn't put any decoration on this one. We're just going to paint this so you can get an idea of what they'll look like. And then I've got my star, like so. Okay, and I'm just going to take a little bit of tempera paint. Tempera for the little ones. Acrylic, if you have, would work even better. I'm going to put that over here. And I'm going to just add a little paint to our Easter egg. A little too much water in there. You can work on some kind of cool designs. And with the texture of the fork, I think that would be really interesting. Wash off my... And you could experiment with mixing colors. It's really come out quite vibrant on here, even though it's tempera. You got that? Right. So the other suggestion that I found was to use Mod Podge. And Mod Podge, once this is all dried out, then you'll take your Mod Podge and seal it. So it's just really a thick glue Mod Podge, and add also a little bit of sheen to it. So there you have it. Hope you enjoy your salt ornaments, and hope to see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and look forward to hearing from you all. I'm going to review it one more time just so you have the recipe. And it makes a very large batch. So it's 4 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of water, 1 and even 2 is probably good, and then 1 cup of salt. And put it in the oven at 275 for 2 to 2.5 hours. And don't forget to put that little hole in there if you want to make it into an ornament. Hope you enjoy. And again, I'd love to see any samples that your kids make. Hope to see you soon.